Hello students, how are you everyone? Lesson 1, Sources of History. In the previous lesson we have discussed about records in stone inscriptions. Now today I am going to further describe your records in stone inscription. In ancient times, main incidents like achievements of kings means great efforts of king. Writing of orders means directly written by an authorized person, and treaties with other state means make an agreement between two states were carved on stone and metal plates. These metal plates and stone writings are known as inscriptions. These inscriptions are even accessed today and are preserved in archives, that is National Archives of Delhi. These metal plates are very huge that cannot be destroyed by the insect. Now third point is our vessels, ornaments and tools. As you see in this picture, there are vessels, ornaments and tools. These vessels, ornaments and tools were found during the time of excavation. What do you mean by excavation? Excavation is the process of digging, especially when something is removed from the ground. Archaeologists use excavation to find artifacts and fossils. What do you mean by archaeologist? Archaeologist, a person who studies the ancient history by examining objects dug from the ground. And what do you mean by artifact? Artifact means vessels, tools, ornaments, pottery, etc. What do you mean by fossils? And animals and plants that lived thousands of years ago, which has turned into. During excavation, vessels, tools and ornaments are found which help us to know the history of ancient times. Here are some questions in your textbook. Let us discuss these questions. Question 1. Make a list of the sources from where we gather information on incidents and events of the present day. Answer is we will go to the library of our school, village and towns to learn about the major incidents and events of the present day. Now question 2. How can we extract historical information from the sources available? We can extract historical information from the sources of history like documents, paintings, ornaments, toys, coins, inscriptions, bhojpatras, metal plates, old buildings, temples, etc., by either watching and knowing them. We get a lot of information. The historical information can be gained from the different pictures and articles collected in the collection book. Now question number 3. Which sources will you use to know a 100-year-old history? On the completion of 100 years, the newspaper and magazine publish a special edition of such memorable events and graphical representation of such events. The special event which took place during the century are described along with pictures. By studying this special event, one can learn the history of 100 years. If you want to learn the history of more than 100 years, then old temples, forts, old buildings, temples, etc. can be used. Now fourth question is how is it possible to get the historical information from people like storytellers, chronologists and travelers? The people like storytellers, chronologists and travelers describe the historical incidents of brave persons of old times like donors, saints, etc. From this we get a lot of information of the past. Storytelling is one of the oldest forms. Storytelling is one of the oldest forms of conveying our history. A storyteller can not only inspire us but also create movement and help us to open our mind that life has to offer. Now chronologists maintain the records of date and time in order of their occurrence for the study of historical records. The diary writers give the graphic presentation of the states, societies, industries, education, etc. the period of that time from which we get a lot of information of that time. Now travelers. The traveler's note can be called the authentic document for knowing our history. From the note of Huan Sang, the traveler who came India from China of Gupta age. We get a concrete information about kings and their administration, public life, trade and employment, etc. We get a lot of information about the Gupta age. A lot of historical information about China and South Asian country is known from the book of Travels of Marco Polo. Why were travelers attracted to India? Because they think India is a land of wonder with diversified culture and great Indian ancient education system. You can more about history from copper plates, Bhojpatras and manuscript of ancient times in the Sri Hemchandra Achar Library, Patan. Second is LD Institute of Indology, Navrangpura, Ahmedabad. Third, Tribal Museum, Gujarat, Vidyapeeth, Ahmedabad. Fourth is Mahavir Jain Aradhana Kendra, Koba, Gandhinagar. Now, these two, LD Institute of Indology, Navrangpura, Ahmedabad and Tribal Museum, Gujarat, Vidyapeeth, Ahmedabad are in your Ahmedabad city. You can visit these places and see the history of ancient time. At the end of my session, I would like to explain the things to know. The sources of history. I already told you the sources of history are documents, paintings, ornaments, toys, coins, inscriptions, Bhojpatras, metal plates, etc. What is in stone inscription? The writing which are carved on stones. Bhojpatras. What are Bhojpatras? What is Bhojpatras? The bark of a tree on which books were written in ancient time. What is copper plate? Inscription on copper and tin. What is archives? Places which store historical event. What is carbon dating system? Carbon dating system is used by archaeologists to find the exact date and times of findings. Thank you.